Hi, I'm Robert Bullington, owner of Front Row Seat Productions, media producer for artists, organizations, and businesses throughout the northeastern United States. And I'm here today to talk about Science4Pets, a company based in Pennsylvania with a passion for designing and launching the most natural pet foods, specialty treats, and supplements. I'm joined today by Science4Pets principal pet nutritionist, Dr. Ramesh Khanal. Dr. Khanal holds a PhD degree in animal nutrition from Utah State University and has been working in the animal feed and nutrition industry for almost 30 years. He has published close to 50 scientific articles in peer-reviewed journals while also contributing to numerous other publications. Over the years, he's created a variety of diets for the livestock and pet food industries and many other exotic animal species. These days, he's mostly focused on pet food and nutrition. Thank you for speaking with me, Dr. Khanal. May I call you Ramesh?
Please go ahead.
I've heard you speak about microencapsulation. It's a very important concept, but it's one that many of our friends out there watching are not going to understand. So can you tell us, as much as possible in layman's terms, what is microencapsulation?
It is one of the state-of-the-art technology, but for everyone to understand it, basically we are coating it. It is kind of a coating, you can, just as an analogy, kind of coating, or we are encapsulating the compound of interest, the material of interest, the primary active ingredient of interest. We are encapsulating with something else, so it becomes available only when it is needed, only when it reaches the recipient, only when it goes to is taken up by the targeted recipient. That's what it is.
So when it gets into the stomach, basically, of the pet that we're feeding it to.
Yes, if you are putting in the food, it is when it will be released only upon getting to the tummy. If it is a drug, again, if it is a drug, it will be released only when reaching the targeted organ, whether it is intestine, whether it is the gut, whether it is somewhere else. So it is very specific, very state-of-the-art technology that will help you deliver the product, the active ingredient, the vitamin, the mineral, it could be also, or something else, aroma or flavor, into the place where it is needed.
It sounds like microencapsulation is really a very compelling, very important technology. And so if it is, why isn't everybody else already doing it?
Scientifically, it has been there in the, maybe for about 2-3 decades, maybe even more than that. But in terms of using it, it is a really new technology in terms of application. Earlier, it was there, but there is no wide application because first thing is it was not cost effective. That's the primary reason. And when it became cost effective, people were doing the business as they were doing before, and they didn't want to probably innovate. They didn't want to probably apply the technology because there would still be some cost associated with it. It is not like you are buying a cup of water or a bottle of water from one store and then buying the same kind of water from another store, because there is extra cost, extra time, extra effort involved. As a result, when the status quo develops, changing that habit is kind of hard because you have to think a little bit outside the box. You have to lead in it even sometimes. And that's why many of the companies are not using that technology yet. It might come maybe 10 years down the road, but right now it's not common. In the case of pet food industry, basically none. And when it comes to vitamin, I don't think there is anybody doing it.
It seems like what we're talking about with microencapsulation is what we would call a disruptive technology, especially in the pet food industry. Now, a big brand company who's already got brand recognition, they've already got a client base because of it, they might not be so motivated to adapt this. But the companies that really want to be innovators, that want to be cutting edge, I think they'd be a little bit more motivated to take on microencapsulation. Would you agree?
Yeah, that's partly true, because the big companies, they are there because they also innovated a lot of things in their time, and they might still be innovating. I don't want to bash them. I don't want to degrade them in any way. At the same time, for an upcoming company, they have to differentiate because they already had those companies did those things in the past, and they might be doing on something else right now. If new company, up and coming company, they have to differentiate from the rest of the pack. So we are trying to differentiate. We are trying to innovate in that field. So it becomes available down the road for much more bigger consumers, much in a larger scale. So everybody can adapt, and when it becomes common, and you would be knowing, microencapsulation, that's good, and he would be knowing that, and somebody else also would be knowing that, and you'll be telling your friends or families, it is better. So that way, even though they have innovated in the past, they may not be doing that in the present. And for a company like us, we have to differentiate, and just not for the sake of differentiating. It has to be innovative. It has to add value to the product. And by microencapsulation, we are trying to do that, just that. We are adding the value, we are giving the protection, we are helping the customers get better products.
Ramesh, this might be a silly question, but if you're doing this just to increase the delivered potency, why wouldn't we just give our pet more vitamins?
Well, there are a couple of reasons. Anything that is in excess is not that good, am I right? Whether it is water, whether it is vitamin, whether it is milk, if you take excess, that has to go somewhere. If it can go somewhere, it has to accumulate somewhere. Even that is not great. And at the same time, when you give extra, when you have to buy extra bottle of water, you'll be paying extra money, am I right? Just like that, when somebody is putting extra vitamin, there is extra cost involved to that. Even though companies may not realize, customers may not realize that cost has to be passed on to the consumer. From whoever the consumer is, and because they are adding that extra there, we are minimizing that extra, and we are minimizing the waste. That also helps the environment. That helps your health. At the same time, minimizing the waste to the environment. So it is kind of win-win situation.
Microencapsulation is a very new word to most of the people who are going to be watching our chat. But there's another concept, I think, that's been more heavily marketed and is much more familiar to people in the human pharmaceutical industry, and that's time release. Lots of people know about time release capsules. Is there some similarity in those concepts between time release in the human pharmaceutical industry and microencapsulation in the vitamin and especially in the pet vitamin industry?
Yes, there's a good analogy, I think, Rob. And the time release and extended release, and they are also initially they were also based on microencapsulation. When you microencapsulate, you can target where you can release. So it is basically the same concept, similar concept, same kind of technology, but because it is much more common in the drug industry, because there is more demand there, so companies innovated. Whereas in the pet food industry, it may not have as much of a big market as the drug industry or the human drug industry, but that's why it is lagging behind. So we are trying to bring that to the pet food industry also. We are trying to bring that out to the pet vitamin industry also. So by doing that, I hope our customers will like it, they will appreciate it, and they will see the benefit once they try it.
Now, on a personal note, I had some four-legged friends who were very special to me, who I miss a lot, and I would have done anything to extend their lives, but I knew I couldn't. But during those lives, if you had told me that there were things I could have done to increase the quality of their lives, I would have done that on a heartbeat. And are the products that you're talking about things that we can really substantively improve the quality of our pets' lives with?
It comes down to basic nutrition. You take vitamins, whether that vitamin comes from the fruits, vegetables, meat, or something else, and whatever the source is, you take vitamins. I also ingest some vitamins, and he also ingest some vitamins. And everybody, humans, animals, they need vitamins. And the vitamins have very fundamental roles to play in the overall metabolism, overall health, and physiology. And when you provide that in the appropriate amounts, in the appropriate delivery form, then it improves the overall health. It improves the overall quality of health, quality of life. So from that perspective, yes. But if you are trying to, okay, if I give this vitamin for this long, the cat's or the dog's life would have been extended by this many years. I cannot tie those two things up. I don't think there is a specific research tying the two together. But if you go from the overall health perspective, absolutely yes, because we take the vitamins for what? To improve our health, to improve our vitality, to improve our vigor, to invigorate ourselves, So from that side, absolutely yes.
I gather from what you've told me that you feel very strong about the sources for your vitamins, and maybe even a little bit more so than your competitors.
Yes, why? We have seen, you may have heard about a lot of issues about, let me just put it this way. When you go to a store, would you like to buy something that is made in China? Or would you like to see something that is made in US or maybe European countries or something somewhere else? Because when it comes to China, China is the manufacturing hub, and a lot of things are manufactured in China. And when it comes to vitamins, that applies even more so, because if you look at the example of vitamin C, about 90% of that is made in China. Only 10% is made elsewhere. So, and let's say thiamine, another vitamin, a critical vitamin, thiamine, that is maybe 85% is made in China, maybe 80%, a little more than 80% is made in China. When so much is made in China, and when you hear, when I go to the store, when I see the tag there, I feel a little bit antsy about it. Is the quality great? What is behind? What has gone on to manufacture that? What kind of quality control system do they have? Where is it released? The waste. All those things are, people have genuine concerns, and those concerns is not has not started overnight. There's a long history, 20, 30, 50 years of history, and as recent as last year, in the case of vitamin D, or in the case of melamine, or many other things, all those have a kind of built up concern within the people's psyche. And I'm more concerned because I'm even more so because I know I am behind. I have been involved in those things, a lot of things. As a result, I feel really passionate about the sourcing, not to get anything that has come out of China. No, I don't say anything because China is a great country. Let's not it is number 2 in the world for a region. It has a great history of civilization, everything. But still, when it comes to certain things, we feel a little bit concerned, and that concern is based on valid reasons in the past, and there is no guarantee that it will not recur in the future either. As a result, that's why I'm more concerned, and I want to avoid that part, so our customers can also avoid.
You talk about both microencapsulation and non-China sourcing. So some of your competitors might be doing one or the other, but do you think any of your competitors are doing both?
I have not seen one single product, one single pet vitamin supplement for dogs or cats or any other species in that regard that is both sourced from non-China and microencapsulated. Absolutely, I have not seen, at least to my knowledge. I have been in the industry for 30 years, and I have not seen anything. In fact, before coming to our chat, I tried to find out on the internet, is there any out there, and I could not find any. If somebody is hiding that fact, I do not know, and I do not see the reason of not telling not bringing that out to the customer, because customers have genuine concerns, and if they had that the capacity, in that case, I'm sure they would have brought it out. Right now, I don't see any, and we are the only one in that regard that has the pet vitamin supplements with both non-China as well as microencapsulation.
I know that currently most of the products that you're bringing to market are in powder form, something that's added to a pet's food. But we know that there are other methods of delivering vitamins to a pet. There are treats and other types of supplements. Do you see yourself going there in the future as well?
Absolutely. This is our first line of products. we are planning to bring out more. This is because it was the easiest we can get started with. So our customers can benefit soonest. At the same time, we are bringing in new products that would be in the treat form or the chew form that will also have microencapsulated vitamins, not just the powders. Powder. There are certain kind of customers who want to use powder and then top dress that on the food, whereas at the same time, you have your dog, you want to pamper that dog a little bit, and you just throw this treat, and he'll go and gobble it. And same thing with the cat, and she will like it because she feels rewarded by behaving well or whatever. So we are bringing those treats also into the market that would have microencapsulated vitamins that are sourced from non-China.